44 in your textbook.
Why is your packet
So, application 2-3 on page 44, we're going to use the chart of accounts for house marketing services that we used in application, oops, my bad, I'm totally wrong. We're on work together on page 44. Page 44. I was on, yeah. So we're going to use the T accounts that we were given in the work together on 2-2. So back here on page 37. So on the top of page 37, where we have this little mini chart of accounts here, those are the accounts that we're going to be using in this particular problem. Alrighty, so we're going to record our transactions and put them into the T accounts. For each transaction, we'll write the name of the T account at the top, and then the debit and credit amounts that are affected by this particular transaction. Alright, so let's see. We have on April 10th, we received cash from sales for $600. Let's pick people to help out. 40. We're working on page 44, right? Okay. So, what are my two accounts that are affected in this particular problem? Go ahead, Logan. What are the two accounts that are affected in this particular problem? Received cash from sales.
Cash.
For $600.
Cash and sales.
Good. Cash and sales. So what are my account classifications for cash and sales?
Cash is an asset and sales are owner's equity.
Okay, it's owner's equity. And so what's happening to my cash account? Is it going up or down?
Down. Sorry.
Up. Received cash. So it's going up. So we know that we're going to do what to it?
Credit.
Okay, so what are your normal side balances? What is your normal side balance for an asset? Debit is normal side balance for an asset. So assets or accounts increase on their normal balance side. So if we know our cash is increasing, and it increases on its normal balance side, and we know its normal balance side is a debit, what are we going to do to this transaction for our cash? Debit it or credit it?
Credit.
Okay. So which side? Okay. So we have our cash. We have our cash account. Is it increasing on my debit side or credit side?
Debit.
Debit side. So if our transaction said received cash, is cash going up or down? Up. Okay. So if it's going up, it's increasing. And if it increases on its normal balance side, and the normal balance side is a debit, what are we going to do to this transaction? Received cash.
You're going to debit it.
I know you got some coaching back there. I want to make sure you understand it. It's increasing on this side. It's increasing on the debit side. So if it's increasing on the debit side, we're receiving it. So think about it. I just gave you $600 in cash. You got more cash in your pocket? You do, right? So if it's increasing on its normal balance side and it's a debit, the normal balance side is a debit, you're going to debit that for $600. Sales. If I sold something for cash, is my sales going up or down? It's going up. So what's its normal balance side? Credit. So if its normal balance side is credit, then therefore it should increase on its credit side, right? So we're going to credit our sales for $600, and then we have our debit and our credit, because one of our rules is You're always going to have debits and credits equal each other. All right, let me pick somebody else. I already picked Jordan before. All right, Ricky. Next transaction is sold services to Sam Erickson, $850. Sold services on account. What are my two accounts that are affected?
Your accounts payable to Sam Erickson, or is that read?
Okay, so Sam Erickson, okay, so sold services on account to Sam Erickson. So let's just go back to page 37. Let's look at our different accounts here, folks, for a second, okay? And I'm going to emphasize this because you can, if you will, cheat by knowing what your accounts are. So if we look at page 37, and we don't know anything else, let's just look through our accounts. If we were trying to figure out what accounts were going to make sense for this transaction, we can look at our accounts. We have cash, accounts receivable, Sam Erickson, supplies, prepaid insurance, accounts payable, Bales Supply, Kathy Burgum Capital, Kathy Burgum Drawing, sales, advertising expense, and rent expense. Those are our accounts. So we go back over here, and we hear the transaction, sold services on account to Sam Erickson. What do we know when we hear the word sold?
Money is stay on this.
Okay, yes and no. Money, not necessarily cash. Okay, so when we hear the word sold, we know we have what? What type of account is affected? Okay, owner's equity in the form of sales, not capital. Capital is an investment. Okay, owner's equity in the form of sales. So if we sold something, always, whenever you hear the word sold or sale, we're thinking of the sales account or revenue accounts. That's what we're thinking of. Okay? And I'm putting this second because what's the normal balance side for sales? Credit. The normal balance side for sales is credit. So I'm going to always put my credit transaction second. So if I know that I'm selling something, there has to be some other account that's affected, and I hear the word sold services on account. We have only talked about two types of accounts. We've talked about accounts receivable and accounts payable. What do you think it is? Accounts receivable or accounts payable? Receivable. Why do you say receivable? Go ahead, Ronnie.
Payable is what you owe, and accounts receivable is what people owe you.
Correct, right. So if you sold something to Sam Erickson and he's not paying you today, if he was paying you in cash, then this would be this transaction up here. If he was paying you in cash, that would be this transaction. So the only other choice is the other, which is he's going to pay you later. So Sam Erickson owes you however much he owes you, $850. Right? So your account receivable to Sam Erickson is going up. And we know that because we sold something, credit our sales for $850 because that's going up. So we know if we're on this side of the accounting equation and we have an asset and it's on the other side of the accounting equation, it has to be increased, and it's going to be increased with a debit. Okay, so we debit accounts receivable Sam Erickson. Always cheat and look at your accounts in your chart of accounts for your transactions. All right, let's pick another person here. Let me see. Madura. Paid cash for rent, $250. What are my two accounts that are affected? Cash and paid cash for rent.
Rent.
Okay, so rent what?
Expense.
Rent expense. Okay, good. So what's happening to my cash account? Is it going up or down?
Down.
It's going down. So if we know it's going down, and what type of account is cash? asset, okay, if it's going down on April 14th, we know that we're going to do what to it? Debit it or credit it? Credit it, because it's decreasing by $250. Now, we know we have rent expense, so therefore it has to be up here. And if we have a credit, what do we know is going to happen? We have to have a debit. So that's why I'm telling you, always use your cheating tools if you can. Not cheating tools like as in cheating off of somebody else's, but your mental cheating tools, okay? Of your rules that you have, the things that you have to follow. So if you have a credit, you have to have a debit. And we know that the normal balance side for an expense is what? A debit. A normal balance side for an expense is a debit, and accounts always increase on their normal balance side. So if we're paying out more rent expense, is our rent expense going up?
Yeah.
No. If we're paying, if your rent expenses, if you're paying more rent expense, you owe me rent for sitting in that seat.
Yeah.
And if you're paying me, if we're starting the beginning of the year, your rent expense is 0, okay? And you pay me for rent. Is the amount that you've expensed on rent, as you pay it, is it going up? The amount that you paid more and more and more and more, right? It's going up. So every time you every time you pay an expense, the amount that you paid is going up. Okay, so the expense amount is increasing. So that's why it goes up and it increases on the normal balance side of a debit. Okay? All right, next one. Let's see. Who do we have next? All right. Oh, Logan. Didn't I already pick on you? No, Logan, that's not fair. Aman. Received cash on an account on April 18th from Sam Erickson. Received cash, okay, so cash, and what's the other one? Good. So cash and account receivable from Sam Erickson. What types of accounts are these? Both of these are assets. So what do we know?
One goes up, one down.
One's going to go up and one's going to go down. Which one's going up? Cash. How do we know that? You heard the words received cash. Okay? So if my cash is going up, I'm going to debit my cash. And does this make sense? Like Sam Erickson's account receivable balance is going down, right? Because I received cash from him. He doesn't owe me that money anymore. Okay. Let's see. Who do I have next? Aiden Siri. Paid cash to owner on April 20th. Owner for personal use, $300. Paid cash to owner for personal use. What are my two accounts affected? Cash.
And owner's equity.
Okay, in the form of?
Withdrawal.
Perfect. So it's going to be, what's his name? What's the person's name? No, Kathy Burgum, I think, is this one. Kathy Burgum. Sam Erickson. How do we know it's not Sam Erickson? No, Sam Erickson. Well, right. Sam Erickson's not the owner. Sam Erickson's somebody we sold something to. So Kathy Burgum withdrawals, or drawing, I should say. Okay, and cash. So what's happening to Kathy Burgum's drawing? Is it going up or down?
Down. Or up.
It's going up. It's going up. She's drawing more money out of the business. So the amount she's drawing out is going up. What's happening to my cash?
Down.
It's going down. So I have one debit, one credit. How much was this one for? $300. $300. Okay? And this is, again, remember, the drawing has the opposite impact on the owner's equity, just like rent expense. It has like a negative impact on owner's equity. All right, so you guys...